Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the Start and 11 prediction show. I am Paul Machin once again, stepping in for the housebound Mr. Christopher Pajak. He will return for these eventually. If you want Chris Pajak back, drop a like on the video. That'll make it happen, right? Yes, right. We're going to do a couple of things on the show. We've been kind of gearing up to this in the last couple of weeks. We're going to do injury and fitness news. Then we're going to speak about our partners, who are the wonderful fantastic football entertainment and fantasy football app. We'll come to that in a second. But let's get into who will and won't be available for the Reds. So the ins and outs, the outs and doubts. Of course, we know Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain still, I'm calling it a medium-term injury, but there's been no update on him whatsoever. Obviously, we know definitely out is, of course, Virgil van Dijk, and it makes me sad to do this every week, but, it's just to give us a picture of where we're at. Of course, we know Fabinho still projected to be back after the international break, which is a big shame, particularly for this game. Massive miss for the Manchester City game. I genuinely think he was bought as a Man City destroyer. And we saw that, when he comes off the bench in the Etihad the season before and plays really well. And obviously we saw it last season when he scores an absolute thunderbolt as well as dominating the midfield. So big loss as well. One man who was out for the Champions League was Nat Phillips because he wasn't registered. He will be available for this game, so we'll throw him into the pack of potential options for this game on the floor there, because I'm definitely going to use him. And the other one who's been a doubt is Thiago Alcantara. Now, will he return to full training in time for this game? And even if he does, will it be enough training for Klopp to throw him into a game of this magnitude? Whew, that's a big question, and it's one I'm going to answer from my own perspective in a very short moment. We're going to be doing the Start 11 predictions for you, from your perspective, and I'll take some of your comments. If you want to send a comment to me, write the word Mate, which is my name, first, so I can see you talking to me, and then put your comment. Are you fingers and toes crossed for Thiago? What are you going with in terms of the front three? Are you going, what formation are you going for? Let me know all these things in the comments below, and I'll come to them in a moment. But first, yes, we are sponsored by Fantasy, the absolutely outstanding football app. Look, we all spend so much time on our phones in and around the football. We love footy, we love our football team, right? Well, Fantasy lets you prove that you are not just any old fan. You can be the fan of the year. Fantasy, get it? Yes, there's a variety of ways in which you can do it. We've been playing this now for a few weeks, and we can see our latest results. Basically, I've taken over from Chris Pajak. He gets his name on it. He gets all the glory, but we know who the man behind the power is, right? It's been me. Weekly points, smashed it this week, 1,302. Our overall league position, still, we're still climbing up, 139, but that's taken a big step up as well. And I thought it was interesting just to kind of show you where we've been up to with this stuff, because I've demonstrated all the games, and we'll do another quiz because it's a good laugh. But what we did last week was we did the team sheet, and what we sorry, bear with me a second. No, all right. So what it did was you put your 11 in there, and it gives you points based on how many of your 11 you got right. So the team I put in last week, which was this team, which it's a little bit all over the place because I haven't reorganised it, but we had Reece Williams in, and I was going to start Diogo Jota over Salah. They were the only two I got wrong, so I got 90 points for getting that team 9 out of the 11 correct, which all adds on to your overall tally. So obviously you can use it, and there is a way to kind of reposition players around, as you can see, so you can put Trent in at right back, etc. So that looks a little bit more like the formation you do. So you can use, if you want to screenshot it and then put it out on social media, you can do that. So, a lot of people use the team builder stuff to do that kind of stuff, but it's possible to do that within this app and also gain points for it as well. So that's one of the amazing features of this. We've also got the quizzes, which we've seen, and we've got the Fantasy 4. And another little thing, what you've seen me do last week was to I've brought in Diogo Jota, and I've brought in Reece Williams, and you can see Diogo Jota 578 points, even Reece picks up 277. I've no idea why Coutinho's there with -2, but all going the right way. And what you can do makes the Fantasy 4 difference. For a start, you don't have to pick 4. You've got your budget, but you build your budget as the season goes along. So Mohamed Salah's price is on the up, Diogo Jota's price is on the up, and I'm not looking to sell them just yet, but what I can do is I can accrue value because I pick players. I can get players low. Like Reece Williams is an example. I think his price has gone up by 0.1 since last week because he's played, because he's put points on the board. So what I'll be able to do is if he keeps playing games and his value continues to rise, I can sell him and I can bring in someone else using the accrued value to buy bigger and better players along the way, which I think is a really cool feature that's desperately missing from, you know, all the other fantasy football things. And of course, you've got your quizzes. Let's take this week's quiz because it's always worth putting my reputation live on the line on this show before we dive into the prediction, of course. Which team finished bottom of the league in 2000, 2001? Derby County. Bollocks, it was Bradford City. Of course it was. Which team finished bottom of the Premier League 14-15? QPR? Yes! They were terrible that season. Who won manager of the season in 2009-10? I want to say Alex Ferguson, but was it Owen Coyle? No, it was Harry Redknapp. Completely wrong. Couldn't have been more wrong. 18-19 season, Robertson and Alexander Arnold got a combined 23 assists. True? Yeah. Who said, clearly it's vest weather here in Indiana? Milner. Lallana. I had no idea. Obviously one of his more famous quotes. 18-19, which shirt did Sadio Mane wear? 10? Yeah, I thought that was a trick question for a second there. What score did Liverpool beat Tottenham in the 2019 Champions League final? Was it 43,497? No, it was 2-0. I was there. It was a great laugh. There's a boss vlog on my channel. Liverpool drew 3 league games 0-0 against Man City, Man United, and which other club in the 18-19 season? Everton. Yep. And VAR, we had this last week, that's BOSS, video assistant referee is what VAR stands for. That's good, easy points for us. And which of these stats against Chelsea in 2019, 19 minutes played? It's got Milner written all over it, that, hasn't it? Yep. Yes, indeed. There we go. 7 out of 10, 37 total points, which earns me 28 spot kicks, which if you haven't seen it already, means you get to go and play the spot kick game, which I'll demonstrate once just to show how amazing I am at it. Oh my word! In off the post, splendid. Right, cool. That is that. We'll come back. I'll come back to that in my own time. But yes, that is absolutely fantastic. They're fantastic. I'll get it now. The link will be in the description underneath. We'll probably put it in the comments for you guys as well. But go and check it out. It's a real opportunity to prove yourself. Not just, because you can choose your own. Just choose Liverpool. Choose Liverpool. Go with it, and prove your all-round Liverpool knowledge. Who are the up-and-comers for Liverpool? And the right to brag in the fantasy football stuff and predict the 11 correctly and get points for it. It's fantastic. I love it. You will love it too, I promise. Right, let's get into it. Right, okay, so we know Oxlade-Chamberlain, Van Dijk and Fabinho are not going to be involved in this game in any way, shape or form. Thiago is a question though, and I will answer that question in a moment. I will come to your comments, so keep your thoughts coming in. Don't forget that, as I said, if you want to interact with me, just write the word Mate first in your comment on anything we've discussed, and I'll get to that as soon as I can. So here's the basis for the starting 11. It's going to be Alisson in goal, it'll be Robertson, it will be Gomez, and I think we've kept him wrapped up specifically for this one moment in time, and that person is Joel Matip. He was fit and he was available. He was on the bench against Atalanta. The fact that we didn't choose to use him and give him any minutes is mad, because normally, logically, and I'm going to use this logic in a moment for one of the other players I've put into the team, you'd be like, well, you need to get them some minutes before this game, but Matip is made of crisps. So have we just protected him knowing that we just need to get 190 minutes out of him? And if we get more, bonus. But if not, just get him ready for City. I think so. Jordan Henderson for the DM. I think Gini Wijnaldum will retain his place. I think he's been in fantastic form the last couple of games. And I think the logic that I was referring to Matip, I think Keita plays this game because he got off the bench, he got in the team. Klopp have been starting to use him more and more and more. I think he really disappointed in the Villa game. You can see it by him getting hooked. And he has had problems, injury problems. We don't quite know. Was it COVID? Was it COVID related? Did Klopp just fall out with him? I don't know. But we saw him come off the bench against Atalanta. We're still a little light in midfield options, potentially. So it's really either Jones, Milner, or him. Milner's an interesting shout, and let me know your thoughts. If you're going with a midfield three of who's available, who's your midfield three if it's not this midfield three? Does Curtis Jones warrant another game? Plays the full 90, of course, against Atalanta, and puts a very good performance in. And here's where the other big question mark will lie. I think the forward three will be Sadio Mane. I think it will be Roberto Firmino restored, and I think it will be Mohamed Salah as the front three. Jota is the first and the big question mark. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay out all the subs and I will come to your comments straight off the back. So our big options here: Thiago Alcantara, Xherdan Shaqiri, Diogo Jota, Reece Williams is an interesting one, Jimmy Milner, Taki Minamino. I'm fast going to run out of space on this board. Kostas Tsimikas, potentially, maybe not. I'll put him down low, just know that he's there. Divock Origi's down there. I don't think we're going to see anything from Nico Williams, so I will put Nico down there for the moment. Adrian will be on the bench. No, he's off to the side there, and Kurt Jones as well, who will lash right in the middle. Now, it's for me, if Thiago is fit, it is as simple as that. Done. That is our best team, with the maybe exception of what do you do with a conundrum like Diogo Jota? And there's a very simple answer to that, and it might be as simple as that. And if Liverpool started with that team, I would be over the moon delirious. My feeling is, in fact, I don't think there's any world where Bobby Firmino does not start this game. Jurgen Klopp was very, very keen to stress in his post-match press conference after Atalanta just how important Bobby is, and very much like, I think everyone's geared up towards this. Jota's the new kid on the block, Jota this, Jota that, and rightly so. He's class. But I think Jurgen loves Bobby Firmino, and not in like a blind bias. He's crap, so get him in because I love him. No, not in quite as stupid as that. He knows how important he is to this team still. There's a chance that we might go with it. I mean, Jota only gets 65 minutes, so he should be the freshest, particularly out of Mane or Salah. But I think the only way Jota plays is if we do this, is if we go 4-2-3-1, and we go with that. And that might hinge upon the fitness of Thiago. There's some possibilities. I'll take a few comments now. Scott Parkins mentions Nat Phillips, who I dropped on the floor before, who I totally forgot about. Now, Nat Phillips had a fantastic game. Had a fantastic game last time out against West Ham, against Sebastian Haller, whom he dominated aerially. Now, he'll dominate Man City aerially, absolutely will do. Will Man City play aerially? No. Given the choice, but if it's not Matip, what would you go with? Would you go with Nat Phillips, or would you go with the big fella? Would you be going with Reece Williams? Given the choice, I would probably go with Reece Williams, just because I think he's got a little bit more pace. Now, his experience might count. That's a real tough one. That's a question mark I hope we don't have against them. I hope Matip is just fit, and I'm going to run with that. Kia Canwell saying Shaq has to start. Where does Shaqiri start in this game? I mean, that's another possibility. Again, I think there's zero chance of Bobby Firmino not starting this, but could you drop Shaqiri into a 10 in a 4-2-3-1? Maybe one day, maybe for a game, we might see that in the Champions League. I think there's a chance that Liverpool finish the game like that. That's a very real possibility that Firmino does come out, and because here's the thing about Man City. Similar preparations if they played at home against Olympiacos this time, so they haven't obviously travelled as far as we have. They're getting players back. They're starting to come into good form as well. I think this game will be a war of attrition, and if it's a war of attrition, I think this game might be won in the final 10-15 minutes if one team hasn't blown the other away, which we know is possible. If it goes that far, I think Liverpool having what we saw the other week and having these two guys coming off the bench could be very pivotal to us finding a way to get through this game. Pritam Day, Jota's form is red hot, 4-2-3-1, maybe just to change things, and City's tactics would expect to play 4-3-3. I mean, that's an interesting, the 4-2-3-1, I think you should always play 4-3-3 as your best formation, because I think the best teams in the world play 4-3. 4-2-3-1 is, I always feel, is for teams just below the top tier. They really own that formation. Like Tottenham Hotspur about it, have been very good at it for a while. Liverpool, prior to becoming top quality, were quite good in a 4-2-3-1, etc. But the way Man City play, because of Kevin De Bruyne, it looks 4-3-3-ish, but often it is a bit 4-2-3-1 because Kevin De Bruyne isn't tasked with being a gritty, get stuck in midfield. Do we need a three-man midfield? Can we get away with just literally planting our feet and standing toe-to-toe with Man City and duking it out? Maybe. I mean, that would be a very interesting game to watch. But we do know that Liverpool's wins over Man City have come by winning the midfield battle, by dominating the midfield. Now the question is, with no Fabinho in there, is it possible for us to do that? Is it a very, very interesting question. Kia Asente again saying 4-2-3-1 is where we play our most exciting football. I disagree. I think we've been crap in 4-2-3-1. I think, look, with the exception of like final 10-15 minutes of games, which I think happens because of the balance of football and again this fitness and fatigue issue. It was a bit like, I know this is not a fair analogy, but like when we had Roy Hodgson in charge, we'd throw everything at it in the final 10 and we'd end up really excited and having loads of chances and we'd go, oh, just do that from the start. It doesn't quite work that way. It's worth remembering that in 4-2-3-1, the games that we've played the first half in particular, we've been terrible, and I don't think we can afford a terrible start against Man City because Man City will blow us away if we're not at the races for the first half of footy matches. But I think 4-2-3-1 is your break glass. Not even break glass, like, play solid. If you can win in your 4-3-3, then do that, win in the 4-3-3. But if you need to get to 60 minutes and you want to freshen things up, then yeah, go to 4-2-3-1 and really go for it. If you're wondering what I'm looking for Naby Keita. I've lost him. I'll find him in a sec. He's underneath Thiago. Thank you. Yes, brilliant. Thanks, Si. So yeah, look, ideal world scenario. I think we want this guy, and it might be another thing where, you bring Thiago's only fit for half an hour. That could be another again break glass option. But yeah, I mean, lots of people saying it's surely a 4-2-1-3. Bob Hill saying 4-2-3-1 doesn't work. I mean, look, the thing is, it does work. But this Liverpool has been constructed on 4-3-3. I think at times in the last couple of weeks, we just haven't had the midfield options and we've had lots of attacking options. And when you've got lots of attacking options fit, it makes sense to play more of them. I think this is and look, let's also not forget, in playing 4-2-3-1 lately, we've been playing low block sides, where the onus is on us to get more bodies in and around and to break teams down. That won't be the case with Man City. It's going to be a bit more like the Atalanta game, where I think it will be City throwing haymakers and us throwing haymakers. So this is why I've settled on this. As I say, with the only real question marks is, if Thiago's fit, again, he comes in for Keita, and I think you could also just play Jota and play 4-2-3-1. But I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I think Thiago, it will be slightly too soon to throw him straight into the mix if he's not really trained. And he will hopefully train at least once full-time this week. So I think that will be that. In terms of the substitutes then, we've got, Adrian will be on the bench. I think Shaqiri will be on the bench. I think if he's fit, Thiago, oh God, I'm leaving this board in an absolute state here. Chris loves it when I do that. Genuinely hates it. Nat Phillips or Reece Williams. I think Reece Williams will take a place on the bench. That's 4. So we've got 3 left from Jota will definitely be on the bench. Milner will definitely on the bench. That's 6. So then, who's our final sub? From Minamino, Jones, Tsimikas or Origi. I don't think it will be Divock. I don't think we'll put a specialist left back on. So then Minamino or Jones, I think it will be, oh wow, that is a tough decision. Go on then, we'll take it to a vote. Minamino or Jones, final sub, let me know what you think it will be. Johnny Kavanagh with a €10 super chat. Hiya, Johnny. Is there a Page at Nudes calendar being planned for 2021? Brackets, Jota has to start. There is not. But would people buy a Page at Nudes calendar? Because let's be honest, look, we're in lockdown. Finances are tight for all around. Maybe we do it like a Page at Nudes calendar for charity. I mean, look, there's a lot of Page fans on this channel for this show in particular. Would you buy a Page at Nudes calendar for charity? don't want to put the pressure on him, but it would be for charity, and he's a very charitable man, as Chris Pajak. Right, let's get to the comments. It's Cornhub says Jones. Taki says Chinmoy. Matt Holding says Minamino. LAC says Taki. Copite 27 says Jones. Wow, so no help there. I think, let's see, midfield-wise, I'll go Kurt Jones. And it means no Taki Minamino. That's mad, isn't it? Wow. What a team. If we get everyone fit, I mean, look at this point. So there's no Virgil van Dijk, no Fabinho, no Oxlade-Chamberlain. And in this squad, there's no Origi, there's no Tsimikas, and there's no now Minamino. There's like 6 first-team lads who are missing, and we'd still be capable of putting this absolute marvel of modern football out on the pitch. I think that bodes extremely well for the weekend. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do go and check out the Fantasy app, of course. It's really good fun, and it's a good challenge as well, and it's a really cool thing to share with your friends. Share your starting 11s on that with us at the Redmen TV as well, and see how many you get right compared to us. I'll be putting this team in, and I'll see how many points I get for that. Other than that, Chris should be back very soon. Unfortunately, he's having to be daddy daycare. So yeah, thoughts and prayers with my friend and hetero life mate, Mr. Chris Pajak. But yeah, I'll be back. The Unboom, the build-up show for Man City, is out a little bit later on today, so do check that out. If you're into Twitch, go to twitch.tv/the Redmen TV. We've got a boss series going on there, and we'll be back live on Sunday just before kickoff, 15 minutes to kickoff for the live watch-along commentary. That should be very good fun indeed, where hopefully Liverpool will pick up another 3 points and head into the international break top of the league. Fingers crossed. Other than that, have an amazing weekend, guys, and I'll see you soon.